Hi, we had already started this chapter, the French Revolution, and under it we had already studied the conditions prevailing in France in 18th century under Louis XVI, and we had studied that the onus of tax was mainly on the third state, which were becoming poorer day by day because they had to pay so much of direct and indirect taxes to the state. The means of the means of earning was less, but the taxes they had to pay were more. Naturally, they rose in revolt, and then came the famine, which worsened their condition. Right now, peasants and workers were not in a condition to revolt. As a result, the richer people among the third state, the people who had acquired wealth and who were more educated, they raised their voice against the privileges which were given to the clergy and the nobility. Right now, the condition was right, or the condition was appropriate for the outbreak of the revolt. So, in this chapter, we will study under this topic we will study the final outbreak of the revolt. How did it happen, or what were the immediate conditions of the outbreak of the revolt? So, on 5th May 1789, Louis XVI, that is Louis XVI, called an assembly of the States Journal. State Journal. So this assembly was called to pass proposals for new taxes, and the power to call the assembly lay in the hands of the monarch only. So it was up to the monarch when to call the assembly and when not to call this States Journal. So on 5th May 1789, Louis XVI, under this power, called the Assembly of States Journal to pass proposals for new taxes, and in States Journal all the members or all the representatives of the three states used to sit and take decisions. So representatives from all the state attended it. First and second, your first and second states had 300 representatives, whereas third state had 600 representatives. So these the third state, which has 600 representatives, which were in majority, they were not treated properly. They were not even given the place to sit. They were allowed to stand at the back behind the first and the second states. So in past, the voting used to be on the basis of one vote for each state. Each state in past voting used to be on the basis of one vote for each state. So that didn't represented the third state appropriately. Right now, when this States Journal was called upon, the third state demanded that each member in the assembly should have one vote. That is, each member should be allowed to take part in the decisions of the journal state by voting. That is, each member should have one vote. So right now, members demanded voting be conducted by assembly as whole, with each member having one vote. Naturally, this proposal was rejected. This proposal was not at all accepted. Though the grievances of the third state were more, they were more in number, they had lots of grievances, but still their proposal was rejected. Now what happened when the proposal was rejected? What happened when the proposal of the third state was rejected? So when proposal was rejected, the members of the third state, they walked out. They didn't participate further in the meeting. Then on June 20th or 20th June, they assembled in the hall of an outdoor tennis court in the grounds of Versailles. So here they declared themselves as National Assembly. National Assembly, the one which represented the large number of people, largest population, that is the third state, they declared themselves as National Assembly and swore not to disperse till they frame the constitution, till they frame their constitution. The constitution, the type of constitution which they wanted was, which should be representative, that is the powers, the absolute powers of the monarch would be limited in such a constitution. They wanted a type of constitution where the absolute powers of the monarch would be limited and representation would be given to all the sections of the society. So when all these activities were going on over there, the rest of the France was in turmoil. It was in turmoil because of severe famine. The crop has failed because of the winters. The crop has failed, and the people, they didn't had enough food. There was not enough grains for them, and they, as a result, they were agitated. They revolted, and the agitation soon spread to whole of the France. The agitated crowd on July 14th finally destroyed Bastille. So, and almost soon the revolt, it spread to whole of the country, and the people, they started attacking the houses and the castles or the residences of the noblemen and the clergy, because they were the people who were enjoying privileges and these people were against the privileges enjoyed by them. So naturally they were against them. They wanted to destroy the power or the wealth amassed by them because of the atrocities done on them. So a large number of nobles, they fled from their homes, many of them migrating to the neighboring country as a result, because the peasants, they started looting the hoarded grain. They burned down the documents which contained the records of the manorial dues, the dues which they had to give to their feudal masters. They burned those records in order to liberate themselves. So this was the kind of developments that were taking place. Naturally, the king was alarmed, and out of fear he gave in. Out of fear he gave in and declared National Assembly as the rightful assembly. It recognized the National Assembly. So King Louis was alarmed, and he gave in. When he gave in, he did lots of things to change the system. First was, he accorded, most important, he accorded status to National Assembly. He accepted that his powers would be checked by the Constitution, accepted that his powers would be checked by constitution which would be drafted by the National Assembly. Or third, he passed the decree abolishing feudal system, based on obligations, based on privileges and taxes, based on privileges to upper classes and taxes on the part of the lower classes. Then clergy, they enjoyed enormous power, clergy to give up their privileges. Then the taxes which were collected by the clergy, that is the church, tithes abolished. Then sixth, land owned by church was confiscated, taken. And seventh, government, as a result of all these developments, the government acquired billion of rupees, billion of livres, that is the currency in the France. They acquired billion of livres. So the government was financially now stable. That kind of financial instability which we had studied, which was in the beginning of the 18th century under Louis XVI, because of long years of wars and maintaining the palace, that was gone away. And because of all these developments, the state acquired billions of livres. So there was financial stability at that time. So the under outbreak of the revolution, we had studied the developments which took place, which led to the outbreak of the revolution, was the calling of the States Journal, that is Assembly of States Journal, to pass a resolution for proposals of new taxes by Louis XVI. When he called the assembly, all the three states were called upon. The third state, it wanted a new system of voting where every member should be given one vote, so that their voice would be more according to their population, which was rejected. The third state, they marched out of the assembly. There only they declared themselves National Assembly and swore not to disperse until they would frame a new constitution which would limit the powers of the monarch. When all these developments were taking place, we had studied, then severe famine occurred. Then at that time, because of the severe famine in France, the peasants or the poorer people, they, because of the lack of food, they agitated and finally stormed Bastille and destroyed it. The peasants' revolt spread to almost whole part of the country, and they attacked the residences of nobility and clergy. Because of all these developments which were taking place, because of the revolts and instability and chaos, Louis XVI finally gave in and he accepted the demands of the third state. According to these demands, he accorded the status to the National Assembly, accepted that his powers would be checked by the constitution. Hence, absolute monarchy came to an end. He passed decree abolishing feudal system based on privileges and taxes. He gave clergy to give up their privileges. He also accepted that the privileges which were given to the upper two estates, that would be finished, and tithes were abolished. Land owned by church was confiscated by the state. As a result of all these development, financial stability was maintained in the country. Now this France, it became a constitutional monarchy. From absolute monarchy, it transformed to constitutional monarchy, where the monarch was the constitutional head and the real powers were enjoyed by the National Assembly. So France became a constitutional monarchy. In 1791, National Assembly drafted constitution whose main aim was to finish absolute monarchy, whose main aim was to limit the powers of the monarch. Since at that time the monarch of the country, he enjoyed absolute powers. Whatever he used to say was the rule of the nation. So that was gone with the drafting of the new constitution by National Assembly, which was a representative assembly. The powers were divided. The constitution was based on the separation of power, where the powers were divided between executive, legislature, and judiciary. France now became a constitutional monarchy with the real power it laid with the National Assembly, which was a representative assembly, and the monarch was just a constitutional head of the state. He didn't enjoy any real power. The National Assembly was elected indirectly. Indirectly means people elected certain representatives, and these representatives in turn elected the National Assembly. So this was how the National Assembly was made representative. So that is, citizen voted for a group of electors who in turn choose the assembly. So not all the people were given the right to vote. Only those women were exempted from the right to vote. Only those men who were above the age of 25 years and who owned property, that is the people who paid taxes equal to at least 3 days of laborer's wage, they were allowed to vote. So who were allowed to vote? People, men above 25 years of age and who paid taxes. Who paid taxes equivalent to at least 3 days of laborer's wages. They were termed as active citizens. Whereas the remaining men and women, they were termed as passive citizens. So in 1791, National Assembly drafted the constitution which curbed the absolute power of the monarch. Monarch was now a constitutional head. The real powers lay with the National Assembly. The powers was divided among the executive, legislature and judiciary. And the National Assembly, it was, though it was not directly elected, but it was elected indirectly by all those people who it was elected by the city, that is the citizens voted for a group of electors who in turn chose the assembly. Only those men who were above 25 years of age and who paid taxes, they were allowed to vote. They were termed as active citizens, whereas the remaining men and women, they were termed as passive citizens. The constitution which they drafted, it began with the Declaration of Rights of Men. It began with the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizens. Declaration of Human Rights, you can say. So, so rights such as right to life, freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, equality before law, these were established as natural and inalienable rights. Means these rights could not be taken away by anyone, not even by the state. And there were certain guarantees that if these rights were taken away by the state, then certain limitations were put on the powers of the executive. So they belong to each human being by birth and they cannot be taken away. It was the duty of the state to protect the citizen's natural right. So some of the rights mentioned under Declaration of Rights of Men and Women are that men are born and remain free and equal in rights, that is right to equality. Then sovereignty of the state was established. Then liberty, equality and fraternity was mentioned there. Then since property is a sacred and inviolable right, the right to property was also mentioned. So all these rights which are adopted by which are there in the constitution of almost every country of the world right now also, these were adopted way back during French Revolution in the Declaration of Rights of Men and Citizen, and this declaration was in turn adopted by many nations of the world. So it was very much it had great significance in the world history. That's all. Under this topic we had studied the outbreak of the revolution, the causes, the immediate causes, and the transformation of France from absolute monarchy to constitutional monarchy. That's it. Thank you.